Good morning students. Through this video lecture, I am going to explain one of the topic included in NEET syllabus as locomotion and movement. The chapter locomotion and movement, it is divided into 5 parts. The first part, it deals with the different types of movements. In the second part, different muscles present in our body explained. The third part, it deals with skeletal systems. In the fourth part, different joints of the body explained. And in the fifth part, muscular and skeletal disorders are included. Movement is significant feature of a living being. Unicellular as well as multicellular animals, they are performing different types of movements and locomotion. Amoeba, single-celled animal, it shows simple form of movement which takes place due to streaming of its cytoplasm. Paramecium, it consists of abundant cilia. Their cilia, it helps in movement of food through cytopharynx as well as it helps in locomotion. Hydra, it consists of tentacles. Its tentacles used for capturing prey and they are using their tentacles for locomotion as well. Human having limbs in the form of forelimbs, hind limbs. Its limbs used for changing body posture as well as for locomotion. Here I am using two words, that is movement and locomotion. The question arises, what is locomotion? So we can say locomotion, it is a type of movement in which body displaces from one place to another place. For example, walking, running, climbing, flying, swimming, etc. We can say all locomotions are movement, but all movements are not locomotions. Locomotion methods, it varies with habitat and demand of situation. Locomotion, it is performed by the animals for searching food, for getting shelter, for searching breeding ground, to go to favorable climatic conditions and escape from enemies or predators, etc. There are different types of movements which are grouped into 4 categories as amoeboid movement, ciliary movement, flagellar movement and muscular movement. Amoeboid movement is performed by pseudopodia and cytoskeletal elements like microfilaments. By pseudopodia, amoeboid movement is possible due to streaming of protoplasm as we can see in amoeba. In our body, macrophages and leukocytes, that is WBCs, they are performing amoeboid movement. The another category of movement, it is ciliary movement. Ciliary movement, it is performed by coordinated movements of cilia of ciliated epithelium. Trachea and fallopian tube internally lined by ciliated epithelium. In trachea, cilia helps in removing inhaled dust particles, while in fallopian tube, the cilia, it push over to the site of fertilization. The third type of movement is flagellar movement. Flagella maintains water current in canal system of sponges. It helps in locomotion of protozoa like Euglena. Flagella as tail of sperm, it helps in swimming of sperm to reach to fallopian tube at the site of fertilization. The fourth type of movement is muscular movement, which is performed by different types of muscles present in our body in the form of skeletal muscles, smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. The contractile property of muscles used for locomotion and other movements like movement of limbs, jaws and tongue. Locomotion, it requires perfect coordination activity of muscular, skeletal and neural system. Muscles present in our body are specialized tissues which are mesodermal in origin. Muscles constitutes about 40 to 50% of total body weight, and the special properties of muscle are excitability, contractibility, extensibility and elasticity. There are different types of muscles on the basis of location, appearance and nature of regulation. Here the types of muscles given on the basis of location, that is skeletal muscle, visceral muscle, cardiac muscle. Skeletal muscle present on the bones, visceral muscles present in the visceral organs, cardiac muscles present in the wall of heart. So, on the basis of location, these three types of muscles are given as skeletal muscles, visceral muscles and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles are attached on bones and are also called voluntary muscles. Skeletal muscles, these are under control of central nervous system. Skeletal muscle also called striated muscles because it shows stripped appearance. This muscle, it primarily involves in locomotion and change in body posture. The cells of skeletal muscle called skeletal muscle fiber, which is covered by endomysium. Number of muscle fibers, they unites with each other and it forms bundle. That bundle which is formed called fascicles. These fascicles, these are covered by covering called perimysium or fascia. This fascia, this is nothing but collagenous connective tissue layer. With the help of this connective tissue layer, that is fascia, the different fascicles, they are held with each other. Means the different fascicles, they unites with each other and it forms a big bundle called muscle bundle. Muscle bundle, it is covered by epimysium. So, if we will go from inside to outside, we will get covering in the form of endomysium, perimysium and epimysium. Skeletal muscle fiber is a structural unit of skeletal muscle. Each skeletal muscle fiber is long, cylindrical and syncytium. Syncytium, it is due to presence of many small peripheral nuclei in single cell or in single skeletal muscle fiber. This muscle fiber, it is lined by plasma membrane which is called sarcolemma. It consists of cytoplasm which is called sarcoplasm. In it, the endoplasmic reticulum present which called sarcoplasmic reticulum, and this sarcoplasmic reticulum is storehouse of calcium ions. The large number of parallelly arranged myofilaments or myofibrils, these are present in sarcoplasm. Each myofibril has dark and light bands which gives striated appearance to this muscle. The dark and light bands appearance is due to distribution pattern of actin and myosin filaments, which are formed by the contractile proteins, that is actin and myosin respectively. Actin filaments, these are thin and long, while myosin filaments, these are thick and short. Light bands are called I bands or isotropic bands. It shows an elastic fiber in its center which is called Z line, while the dark bands, these are called A bands, nothing but an isotropic bands. It shows a thin fibrous membrane in its center which is called M line. Portion of myofibril between two successive Z line is called sarcomere, and sarcomere is functional unit of muscle contraction. In eye band, only actin filament, that is thin filaments, are present. As you see in the given diagram, in A band, actin and myosin, that is thin and thick, both filaments are present with edges of thin filaments on either side of thick filaments partially overlaps the free ends of thick filaments, leaving central part of thick filament called H zone. During muscle contraction, length of sarcomere, I band and H zone reduces with no effect on length of A band. Actin filament or thin filament. By observing the given diagram, we can say this thin filament consists of three components. These are F-actins, tropomyosin and troponin. In one actin filament, total 2 F-actins are present, 2 tropomyosins are present and many troponin present. Each F or filamentous actin is a polymer of monomeric G-actin. G-actin, that is globular actin. Each tropomyosin is running along each F-actin, while the troponin, which are complex proteins present at regular intervals on tropomyosin. These three components you can observe in the given diagram. At resting stage, a subunit of troponin masks the active binding site present on actin filaments. Myosin filaments, that is thick filament, is formed by many monomeric meromyosin filaments. Meromyosin is regarded as monomer of myosin filaments. By observing the given diagram, we can say meromyosin consists of two components, that is HMM and LMM. HMM, this is heavy meromyosin. LMM, this is light meromyosin. HMM or heavy meromyosin, it consists of head and short arm. This short arm, which is also called neck. Head part, it consists of two binding sites, that is actin binding site and ATPase binding site. The LMM, that is light meromyosin, it consists of tail of meromyosin. The head and short arm projects outward at regular distances and angle from each other from the surface of a polymerized myosin filaments called cross arms. If we will study about mechanism of muscle contraction, so muscle contraction mechanism explained by sliding filamentous theory. This theory, it was given by Huxley and Huxley. This theory explains muscle contraction on the basis of sliding of thin filament on thick filament. That is, contraction of muscle fiber takes place by sliding of thin filament over thick filament. A motor neuron along with connected muscle fiber is called a motor unit, while the junction in between a motor neuron and sarcolemma of muscle fiber is called motor end plate or neuromuscular junction. For the muscle contraction, signal sent by central nervous system via motor neuron. This signal, it reaches to neuromuscular junction. In the neuromuscular junction, the neurotransmitter, that is acetylcholine, gets secreted. Action potential generated in sarcolemma. Sarcoplasmic reticulum, inside the fiber, it releases calcium ion into sarcoplasm. This calcium ion, it binds with subunits of troponin. Because of this binding, there is an unmasking of active binding site takes place on actin filament, which is for binding with myosin filament. The ATP hydrolysis takes place, energy gets released, and this energy utilized by myosin head to bind with exposed active site on actin. Due to binding of actin binding site and active binding site, cross bridge formation takes place. The formation of cross bridge, it is most important step for the contraction of muscle. This process it continues till calcium ion pumped back to the sarcoplasmic cisternae. And the masking of actin filaments, it causes return of Z line back to its original position. That is, in this muscle gets relaxed. By observing the diagram given here, we can observe different steps which are involved for contraction of muscle. For example, tilting of head of meromyosin is important for the formation of cross arm, and this cross arm it further leads to formation of cross bridge, that is binding of actin with myosin, that is binding of active binding site and actin binding site. After formation of cross bridge, sliding or rotation occur, which indicates sliding of thin filament, that is actin filament, on thick filament, that is myosin filament. Due to this sliding, actin filament is pushed toward the center part of H zone. Hence, the length of H zone decreases, and it is the indication of muscle contraction. The given diagram indicates sarcomere in 3 states of muscle, that is in relaxed state, contracting state and maximally contracted state. In the first diagram, the length of H zone is given more. If the H zone it is having more length, means here the muscle is in relaxed state. In the second diagram, you can observe H zone decreases its length. It reduces, means what? Here the muscle it undergoes contraction. In the third diagram, you can see H zone disappear. It is the indication that here muscle is in maximally contracted state. So we can say during muscle contraction, the length of H zone, I band and the whole length of sarcomere it gets reduces. While the A band it does not shows any reduction or any increase in its length. The process of repeated activation of muscle, it leads to accumulation of lactic acid due to anaerobic breakdown of glycogen, and this concept is called muscle fatigue. Means we can say when in the muscle lactic acid deposits, a condition comes that is called muscle fatigue. That oxygen storing or oxygen carrying red colored pigments present in the muscle called myoglobin. We can say there are 2 types of skeletal muscle. These are red skeletal muscle and white skeletal muscle. Red skeletal muscle it is also called aerobic muscle, while white skeletal muscle is called anaerobic muscle. Red skeletal muscle it is reddish in appearance, while white skeletal muscle is pale or white in appearance. Myoglobin and mitochondria, these are more in red skeletal muscle, while these are less in white skeletal muscle. Sarcoplasmic reticulum, this less in number in red skeletal muscle, but it is more in number in white skeletal muscle. The another type of muscle which is a visceral muscle, also called smooth muscle, present in visceral organs, or you can say it is present in inner walls of hollow visceral organs like alimentary canal, reproductive tract, etc. In visceral muscle, there is no striations, hence this muscle is also called non-striated muscles. Visceral muscle, this is not under voluntary control, hence this is called involuntary. Fine. These visceral muscle, these are under the control of autonomic nervous system, that is sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Like this, the another muscle present in our body, it is cardiac muscle. As the name indicate, it is present in myocardium of heart, or you can say in the wall of heart. Cardiac muscle fibers, they shows branchings and intercalated disc. Cardiac muscles, these are striated in appearance, hence also called striated muscle. These muscles, these are involuntary in nature. It is immune to fatigue, it do not fatigue at all. So students, I hope you understand each and every point explained in this video clip. In next video clip, I'll explain the further points related with NEET. Thank you for watching. Thank you everyone.